Am I the asshole for refusing to make a cookie table for my son's wedding? My son is marrying Wendy, and the wedding is this summer. She is not close to her own mother for multiple reasons and is pushing hard to have me fill in the gap. I am not comfortable with it at all, especially with how hard she is pushing. She has multiple times overstepped boundaries, such as inviting herself along, discussing very personal issues, very touchy, etc. Due to these issues, we are not close, and my own daughters are not a huge fan of her. She asked me this week if I would make the cookie table for the wedding. It is something the bride's own mother would do with other female relatives. This is the first time hearing about this tradition, and I did some research. I would have to make over 1,000 cookies from scratch to feed the wedding guest. I asked my daughters if they wanted to do it, and it was a strong no. I informed her that I cannot do it. It is way too much work and I don't have the time. She told me okay, and I thought that was it. My son called me up and told me I am a huge jerk, that Wendy has been crying about it, and I should step up. I am still refusing to do it. Am I the asshole? Edit common questions. Did daughter-in-law tell me the number? Yes. She stated 1,000, 1,200. What about F. Maley helping? She isn't close to her family, so her side is out. My parents are in a home. I am an only child. My husband has a sister, and I doubt she wants to help. Daughter don't wish to, so it would basically be me. Not the asshole. Over 1,000 cookies? It's never one person makes 1,000 cookies. It's all the women, on both sides, each bring their signature cookie, or bring a bakery's signature cookie. In large families, this usually ends up in the thousands. For smaller families or families with fewer bakers, it's maybe a few dozen. That makes more sense, but she isn't in contact close with her family, and my daughters don't wish to do it. My son is the groom, so it would be basically just me making a ton of cookies. Not the asshole. Even if you could split up the work that's coordinating 20 people, making 4 to 5 dozen cookies, and if you don't bake, that means you're learning to make cookies. There seems to be a huge empathy gap here, from you towards your future daughter-in-law. It sounds like she has little to no family support. She's likely hoping to be close to her in-laws. It may also mean that her eagerness is causing her to display poor social skills. It also sounds like you and your daughters are only seeing that as an imposition to you, and not offering any grace. You may reflect on what you've done to establish better boundaries with your daughter-in-law and to acknowledge her own experiences. Because from the tone of your writing, it sounds like you've decided she's annoying, and you and your daughters are mean-girling the hell out of someone who wants to be close to you without having adult conversations about boundaries. You seem to be judging her for having a poor relationship with her family. That's an odd choice. Sometimes in-laws step up in times like these to bridge the gap for traditions that their future family members desire, because their own family is not safe or supportive. They may do it to support their family member, in this case your son, rather than the in-law. You can certainly choose not to do that, but the relationship with your future daughter-in-law and your son is likely to be affected by the result. How embarrassing it must be for her to have a valued tradition like the cookie table and no personal family to take up the task. How mortifying to have to ask future family members and then be told no. I think you're maybe TA in general, based on how you write about this young woman who seems to have had a rough go, family-wise. Not the asshole, but you are a little misinformed and cold. Born and raised Pittsburgher here, the cookie table does not replace the cake. It is for the period before the meal and during the reception. Also, Mom typically coordinates the cookies with family and friends. She doesn't have to do them all herself, and store-bought bakery are fine. Wendy may not be your cup of tea, but she is the center of your son's universe. If you want to stay a part of his life, you better loosen the bone and unwad your panties. Be forgiving, be patient, be understanding with her. She is trying to build a loving relationship with you and the rest of her spouse's family. If you don't, you will be on the outside looking in when grandkids happen. Suck it up, apologize, and offer to coordinate the cookie table. You'll be glad you did. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.